Yes, people. What's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Today on Vibes from the 6th, Arsenal have been eliminated by Liverpool in the FA Cup. We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to talk about Chelsea, Manchester United, a little bit of Spurs transfer talk also with Timo Werner going to Spurs, Manchester United transfer talk as Sancho has left to go to Dortmund, Chelsea transfer talk as Chelsea might be looking to sign Jordan Henderson from Saudi Arabia. We're going to get into that. Plus, of course, you guys are probably all here to hear me get cooked by some of these guys on the loss to Liverpool. So let's get straight into it. We got a wonderful panel for you guys today, and we're going to get into all of that jazz. As we're waiting for, of course, we're going to be waiting for Ram to join us also. We're also going to potentially have Hamza sneak in because Hamza wanted to cook also. So all these guys just want a piece of me today after losing. It's like, yeah, I get it. Especially Greg's, because Greg's is new on the scene, but he already has it out for me after Vibes from the 6th the other day. So you get your opportunity too. But I think the only place to start is, let me start first, and then you guys can go. Is that or you guys want to cook first? Because I just feel like,
I mean, do you want? Are we doing mitigation for? Because I'm sure you're like, sometimes I'll fall on my sword, and then maybe these guys will go easy on me.
Okay, no, you guys go first, because if you haven't watched my stream, I was quite critical. I said that they're not really giving me much to back. As a supporter, I'm still going to back them, and I'm going to say, you know what, some of these decisions that they're making in the final third, they can improve on, and we could potentially start scoring more goals. But 6 XG and only 1 goal in the last 3 games is not normal.
Reminds me of my good friend Graham Potter at Brighton. They used to have a similar kind of issue. And
no, first of all, nobody's saying bigger fish to fry. Get that out of your head. Nobody's saying that. Nobody in their right mind is saying that. Nobody here is saying that. And if anybody on Arsenal YouTube is saying bigger fish to fry after this result, get your head checked out. Because
let's start with here, Egal. You're out the cup. Okay. So we can do the breakdown of the game and everything, but the analysis doesn't really matter because you're out the cup. Do you know what I mean? At home, Salah and Van Dijk missing. Yeah, they came to your yard. No Salah, no Van Dijk. What's going on? No Salah, no Van Dijk. And not only that, they brought on kids. Klopp looked at his fixture list and said, "Oh my God, I can't take another game. I don't want to play any more games."
All right, Jay, cook, bro.
Some time, and they're gonna, maybe they'll run around a bit. If they cost me the game, they'll cost me the game. Not only did Liverpool then go on to score 2 goals and win and knock you out. So for me personally, Egal, I look at this from the point of view of saying, huge loss, gigantic loss. Yeah, forget how you played. Doesn't matter how you play in a cup game. You're out. You're going home, yeah? Would you not have rather played terribly and gone through? At this point in time, it's 1 win in 7, Egal. I need to know, Egal, because you are a very positive fan. You told me your floor, our ceiling, FC. Those were your words. Those are your words, not mine.
All right, Jay, you're still in the FA Cup, bro. You're still in the FA Cup.
Everyone here is still in the FA Cup, and I need to hear from you, Egal. Once the rest of the boys have been, what's gone wrong, Egal? Why have you gone from the team most likely to win the 23-24 Barclays Premier League to, look at you, man, cap on, hoodie on, looking sad? Bro, you're my friend, so I have to ask, is everything okay at home?
Everything's all right at home, man. It's just unfortunately Arsenal are not winning games. The reason why we're not winning games, I would put it down to us not being able to finishing our dinner in the final third. We are terrible in the final third these last 3 games, and if any of your teams were that bad in the final third, you would not be winning games either. The game against West Ham, we took 30 shots, couldn't finish our dinner. The game against Fulham, we didn't have as many shots, but still kamikaze defending for the second goal, terrible defending for the first goal, and we couldn't finish our dinner on numerous occasions. And then today versus Liverpool, you guys watched the game. How Arsenal were not up 1-2 and maybe 3-0 at one point. I was wondering why, but you know what? It's not a surprise, because it's the same thing, rinse, repeat for the last couple of games. Mikel Arteta today tried to make changes, which didn't work also. Reece Nelson was probably the breath of fresh air from the front 3. But yeah, maybe we can go to the next person now. Vader, do you want to go next? Or
yes, Vader, speak, bro. I want to let you land your point.
I'll let Ram go last. So
yeah, man, you do,
go next.
Yeah, do your thing. You got a lot to say, my bro.
I got a lot to say. This was a good game to watch. This was a good game to watch. I can't lie, because there was a lot of anticipation. There was a lot of questions that people want to kind of get answered. What would Liverpool look like with no Mo Salah? I was surprised. No Van Dijk either. It's like, ooh, we knew Szoboszlai was probably not going to play, but this was not a fearful Liverpool team. This was not. And then I'm looking across and I'm seeing what we talked about, Egal. And you said, if my team does not win, it is going to be. Did you say carnage? Is that the word you used?
He said carnage.
He said carnage.
Let there be carnage, bro.
So, Mikel wanted this win, despite what he started. Despite that starting 11, you saw the subs he made. He wanted this win. He did not get it. And I have to say, there's questions. You have to ask this man questions. However, though, Egal, I'm on your side, though. I'm on your side. Because I listened last season. And I listened this season. Egal is supposed to be a generational manager. And I think.
No, you mean Arteta.
I think
you said Egal.
It took me a second. I thought you said Egal, but then I said Mikel.
Egal said that Mikel Arteta.
Egal.
You know, the wordplay kind of messed me up a little bit. I'm not a little.
I like. It took me a second, but I enjoyed it, Beta.
I get it.
Mikel Arteta is supposed to be generational. If he's generational, this little blip, this 5 seasons in, let's relax. He's generational. The quote unquote last generational manager, or maybe the one that kicked it all off, was Sir Alex Ferguson.
I thought you said Jose.
Oh, no, we know Jose, but Jose came in. He was legit. His resume spoke for itself. Even before.
But when he started off, he was generational, innit? Because he did with Porter, innit?
True.
I know what you mean. Like a builder, someone who comes in.
I think we get the point. I think we get the point. And you want to know something? Mikel Arteta can still be a great manager and still lose these games. Doesn't change the fact that he could be a great manager.
Exactly. So the carnage needs to chill. Your fan base needs to relax. You need to go out and tell them, listen, if we're not in good form, we lost to Liverpool, it's disappointing. We have a less chance at a cup now. We can only...
Less chance, no chance at the cup.
No.
We've lost.
That's rude, bro. That's rude.
We've lost both cups. What are you talking about?
But you have 2 more cups. You have 2 other cups to go after now.
But it got...
talking about Champions League and Prem.
Can I just say...
Let Vader finish, guys.
I just want to say quickly is that Egal, like, this is your time to shine. Yeah. As a positive fan, yeah, this is where you build your brands. Yeah. That you gotta take the bullets for the club. Yeah. You gotta be strong, Egal, because they're gonna be coming for you. You, Mo Arsenal, EBL, people like that, the people that they call delusional. Maybe the air quotation's less at the moment because this is a squad and team, and Veta, back to you, that we expected to be better at this point in time. So I'm concerned for Arsenal now. 1 win in 7, out the cup, obviously out the League Cup, 4th in the Premier League.
Yes.
It's not looking good, bruv.
I know, but how do we fix that? We're going to have to figure out internal
solutions. We'll talk about how to fix it. But to be able to actually get through it, you got to calm down. You got to not stress. You got to not, don't give up on this manager. Don't give up on these players. See what they're made of or see what they're not made of. But this is the time where you and a couple of other fans need to just. I
don't want the manager sacked, and I'm not giving up on the manager. I'm not giving up the players. I'm supporting the players. But losing the cup definitely losing and getting eliminated from the FA Cup, a competition which we pride ourselves in being the most.
It's your cup. Yeah, it's your cup.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm going to say before I surrender the microphone. You exited out. I know it's bad. It's not what you wanted. But look at who the opposition manager was on the other side. This is where you're like, you know what? It's not like we crashed out against someone we shouldn't have.
Outmanaged Arteta today.
This is club. This is Liverpool. So to exit out of this FA, you can put context to it. Is all I'm saying. And I know these men will go for your throat, but it's not that bad. You got the league.
I don't like this. I don't like this. This is like sympathy cookings. What are we doing here? Tell me what you thought, bro.
No, but again, I thought it was a good match to watch. I thought a lot of things got answered in terms of who was missing, who wasn't, who played. A couple things to be critical of Arsenal.
Yeah,
Mikel needs another assistant manager. He needs someone to come in with fresh ideas because what he's doing right now is not working. He's been figured out. The defenses know where the threats are coming from, and even when he makes the substitutions late in game, they know it's going to be heavy emphasis on the right hand side.
By the way, last year's assistant manager actually left. He had an assistant who's his assistant from last season was left the club, and we never replaced him.
Something needs to change, man. Something needs to change. You guys more than City, because you rivals love to say it of City, but you guys look robotic. You guys truly do systematic, robotic football.
You look overcoached at the moment.
Steven Rounds.
Arsenal look overcoached to me at the moment. And when it works brilliant. But there's very little creative. Like Saka is very Robin-esque. Get left foot, cut inside. Left. Like I just feel like you're creating
but he
chances.
Ain't Robin. He ain't Robin.
No, he's not Robin. But
let me just land on what he said. Steven Rounds, 53-year-old man who's been managing football for a long time. He was actually one of the assistant managers, I think, when Mikel Arteta was a player for Everton for David Moyes. So this Steven Rounds guy has been around for a long time. He also managed at Manchester United. He also managed at Everton, Arsenal, numerous different clubs. He was Mikel Arteta's assistant or first team assistant coach last season. And he left on the 6th of July. So we have changed up the back room. Mikel Arteta has shaken it up a little bit. Now Albert is second in command. So it's not a thing where he hasn't changed it up from last season in behind the scenes also.
That's fine, but something else needs to change though, because what you guys did last season, what you're doing this season, you got to realize everyone's gonna be more prepared because they've seen how you approach the games, and something needs to be different now. You guys are way too robotic. Klopp wasn't even stressed. He put the youngsters I saw him put on that pitch today. I was like, whoa,
Connor Bradley and Bobby Clark.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They played well too.
That against me.
Guys, it's peak. When he put on the kids, I thought, you know what, he didn't take the game serious, and he then went on to go win the game. And not only those kids basically helped close out the game for them. And
Connor Bradley.
I'm gonna give Liverpool credit. But Mikel Arteta definitely needs to start using the academy kids more, because we now have. I don't know if you guys seen it, but there was a tweet that literally came out, or Instagram story that came out from Omar Hutchinson's brother, who said, this is crazy. Like, I've not seen something like this in a while. The brother is basically calling out Arsenal, and he's calling out Mikel Arteta. So he tweeted, he posted this. Can you guys see this? Oh no, it's behind me.
Nah.
There. So he posted this, and he basically said, some people owe my brother an apology. All the abuse, the hate comments he received when he left Arsenal. I hope you guys see why. This weekend, Man City debutants, Chelsea debutants, Liverpool debutants, Spurs played the youth. Arsenal, none. I feel sorry for Arsenal youth, man. Free my guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a point.
The thing is, I disagree because they played him last season.
I've been calling for Mikel Arteta to trust the academy players more, but this is crazy. I've never seen it.
You know why? You know why it doesn't happen? He doesn't have enough credit in the bank with the fan base. He doesn't have enough trust, because if he makes those changes, not you, Egal, but many of your fan base would crush him. So he doesn't have enough of that credit in the bank to be able to do it. Because
and also you talk about our managers. I'm talking to you, Veo, as well. Our managers has a history of developing world-class players. He's got Messi. My manager's got Goetze, Lewandowski, Gundogan. Obviously, Veo knows how good Gundogan is. Came from my manager. Like our managers have made superstars. Your manager still coming through the ranks. And Tottenham's a little bit more easier because Tottenham already has a thin squad. So they have to play the youngsters. They're forced to do that. And Chelsea, on the other hand, Pochettino, we all know what Pochettino did with Tottenham. So your manager hasn't got that same footing.
I'm not going to go too far with it. I think he's kind of wild with that tweet. The story. But when it comes to Mikel Arteta, he definitely has academy players that can play in the left back position, who can play in some of these positions, and give them give some of these youngsters an opportunity, especially if you're going to be playing a dead rubber against PSV late in the Champions League. But Greg's, talk to me, man. How you feeling? What do you think about the game? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to discuss? Because I know you have some individual players you might want to talk about.
So Arsenal Football Club. Last year you made the step up. You overtook Liverpool for a season. You finished above them. You contended with Man City. So obviously the next step was to sustain that. And this year, Pep and Klopp have shown the levels. Especially today, Jurgen Klopp showed levels. He walked onto this pitch at Emirates with his B team. For the most part, no Mohamed Salah, no Van Dijk, the two of the three pillars of Liverpool's football club in the last 6 years. Those are two of the three pillars. Obviously, Alisson being the other one, but he played today. Yeah, the first half he dominated. I'm not gonna say like Liverpool was shit in the first half. Arsenal dominated. You should have been up 3-0, but you didn't score. You didn't capitalize again for like the fourth game in a row. And the second half started. Jurgen Klopp tinkered. I saw Cody Gakpo drifting to the 9 more. Darwin Nunez started drifting out left. What did Arteta do? Nothing. Again, I think Jay said it, robotic. That is what Arsenal Football Club have become. Last year, you guys were thrilling to watch. The moment the game began, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Martinelli were on the opponent's throats. Every single time, the beginning of the first half and the second half. For the first 15 minutes of each half last year, you were probably the best team in the world. If you didn't score in the first 10 minutes, everyone was shocked because you constantly went at opponents. This year, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Bukayo Saka, bro. Maybe it's the trim. Maybe he needs to go find a new barber. Maybe it's that. He tried the Rashford trim from 2020 and 21, and it ain't working for him. He's turned into nothing. He's doing nothing. He's every single time I watch Bukayo Saka, I'm not watching anything. Martinelli was somewhat bright when he came on. He cooked Trent a couple of times, but he's still been stinking this season. Reece Nelson was actually your only forward that actually played well today, and Arteta hooked him. Why didn't Bukayo Saka get hooked? Why didn't he get hooked? That's a statement from the managers to Bukayo Saka. Step up your game. No player should ever be undroppable. I know Bukayo Saka is the face of the franchise. He's the best player at Arsenal Football Club. But today, he deserved to get dropped. He did in that second half. He deserved to get dropped today. And he didn't. Reece Nelson did. He faced the consequences. And for me, the midfield.
One question on that. Were you surprised that Nelson even started over Trossard? Because if I'm Trossard, I'm looking at big moments I've stepped up this season for the team. And it's like, why is Trossard not getting minutes instead of Martinelli then?
I think there's a case to be said that both Trossard and Eddie Nketiah and should be looking at themselves and saying,
he should be looking at Arteta with
I
saw Kai Havertz.
But you want to know something? Guys, we created the chances. We don't finish the chances. Is it on the manager when everything's been set up? And we're not finishing off the chances.
What kind of chance? Like, if you look at Spurs or something, you see that Brennan Johnson cutback, yeah? Players are stood in front of the goal, tapping it into an open net, you got to look at the kind of chances you're creating as well. You know what I mean? If you have 30 shots on goal and your XG is like less than 2, that means you're accumulating. Something like that. Yeah, exactly. It means you're accumulating a lot of low-quality XG shots.
It's not even that. If you look at XG, right? You can have a lot of XG, but look at who your manager has put in the attack to convert these chances. You have Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. Gabriel Jesus has known to be. I think Gabriel Jesus has a record of underachieving XG in Premier League.
Exactly. So it comes to a certain point where it's like, okay, it's like, if you underperform your XG to the extent that Gabriel Jesus does, then therefore that is then his norm of underperforming XG. So you shouldn't be surprised when. And then we look at Martinelli last season, though. He scored X. Where did he overperform his XG? And where's his mean? So this season, Arsenal coming into the season, he scored 15 last season. You're relying on this player to score 15 again. Saka scored how many? Odegaard scored how many? As soon as these players don't perform to the same level as last season, the output differential is massive. You then have things like Rice isn't as progressive as Partey. like someone showed me some stats, and I said, listen, Rice is progressive in the way that Højbjerg is progressive. Yeah, like as in he's not really progressive, but stats will make some.
He's
Stats
not
will
like a Wijnaldum.
Just-
I like
He's
just-
not
Declan Rice, by the way. I like
Just-
Declan Rice today. but when I
Just
saw that
because
he
we
actually
have
played,
some poor
I felt like
results,
he
let's
played
not
this
let's
game.
not spew madness now.
no,
Declan
bro.
Rice-
You're not listening.
What's wrong?
You're not
What's the
listening to what I'm
madness?
saying.
No carnage.
I'm saying that your progression, how you create chances, how the players are manipulating space, all of these things, yeah, you can mitigate them when you have certain passes. Look how much better in the first half you looked when you had Jorginho playing alongside Rice. But then Liverpool figured you out. Yeah, Liverpool made some tweaks at half time, and in the second half they were the better side. They created the better chances. They created the better openings. So at that point in time, you're then looking at Liverpool saying, "Okay, Liverpool, you've got some solutions. You've got some answers while Salah's away." And then I look at Arsenal and I say, "Okay, did you punch yourselves out in the first half? Do you have anything else? Because you're saying you're underperforming the XG." But does that mean that if you play in Nketiah, some of the fluidity that you had in the first half, you lose that? You play Havertz, you have the fluidity, but you don't get the goals. You have Hayes. You can't fix the problems that you have with the options you've got in your squad. That's what it's starting to look like potentially.
I think it's also
in
The
like
this
thing
game-
is, I
Go
don't
ahead.
think we're going to sign a striker.
then
We should
that-
sign a
your
striker,
season's
but
over.
that's the
Your season's
problem.
over. Then your season's over if you don't sign a striker. I'm sorry, because like, bro, you can create all these chances if you want, but you guys do not have game changers up front that can put the ball in the
Season's
back of the
over.
net. There is no game changers, bro. You have UCL. Porto are gonna come with the nastiest deep block that you've seen at the Emirates. Are you gonna be able to break it down? Will Mikel Arteta be able to break down Sergio Conchau's deep block when he comes Emirates in a month's time? Right now, the way it looks like it won't happen.
Yo,
you
Greg,
think-
no. He knows.
You think Pepe's gonna look at Havertz or Nketiah, Gabriel? He's gonna be like, you guys are easy food. I'm gonna bully you for the full 90 minutes. Will you be able to step up to the task? Martinelli, he looks like there's a reason why he signed up
Hey,
for the
Greg.
Brazilian third division. That's what he
And
looks
Greg,
like right now. He looks like
what's Arsenal's kryptonite this season? Managers
Small
who
box.
organize their team
Exactly.
well.
And bro, I look at Kai Havertz. You guys a month ago we were saying you were asking Chelsea to pay more money. It's a good thing that you weren't able to pay more money because he's a crook, bro. I bet you Arteta, who dashed Aubameyang to France, has scored more goals under Arteta than Kai Havertz has scored in his Premier League career. By the way, that's how bad Kai Havertz is. This guy, I don't think he even has 20 Premier League goals in his career. He's dead. He's dead food. And Smith Rowe is getting the pity minutes.
1 second. I hear
He's
the
getting-
fact. I hear the fact that you say misuse of funds, but I don't think Kai Havertz has been the issue the last couple of days. I think the issue, in large part, has been that we've massively underperformed our XG. And you know what? I hear the point where you say it's the type of chances that you're creating also. But some of the chances we're missing are the ball coming to your right winger over the top from the left back and Bukayo Saka skying the ball. We're having opportunities where Kai Havertz has the ball one-on-one with the defender and he takes 2 extra touches and then the defender comes and catches him. Some of these decisions that the players are making in the final third are things where if you have a plan and you can coach through some of these things. It's not things where it's like, oh, you just have to know how to do this. Some players can have moments in bad form and it can be fixed, but it is on the manager to fix that. So this is where when people say, oh, it's on the players for us losing. Yes, but the manager can find a solution. I think there are some internal solutions, and one of those internal solutions, which I agree with you guys, are that we need to start playing players on merit. And when guys are having dips, even though they are one of the best players in the team, they need to be able to be dropped just to show that, you know what, anybody's droppable. I've seen City drop their best player. I've seen Liverpool drop their best player. I've seen a lot of people drop their best players. If there's going to be a criticism for Mikel Arteta, it's going to be when players are underperforming, take them out of the firing line, put in players that are ready and hungry to come play.
It doesn't have to be a drop, Bukayo Saka needs rest because he's played like 99 of the last 100 Prem games.
Luckily, we have 13 days off. Luckily, we have 13 days off.
And one
right?
person I got to cook. These Arsenal accounts that say that this is luck, like in terms of your results. At some point, it's not luck. It's a pattern. And the last 5 games has shown the pattern. There is no this tiki. I hate when people do this. I criticize Klopp after the United result. There is nothing wrong with playing a deep block. And if your tiki-taka can't break it down, there are 500 different styles of way to play football. And Mikel Arteta today saying on merit we deserve to win. No, you didn't, because Konate put in one of
He
the
said
best.
that?
Yeah, he did. He said on merit, performance-wise, we deserve to win. You didn't deserve to win. You know why? Because Konate shut down your whole attack because he was immense today. And Luis Diaz did a no-look shot. He literally scored a no-look goal. He looked away and he blasted it top bins. That's what he did today.
Sometimes you just have to take a chance. Yeah.
And that's what, and that, especially in a cup match. This isn't even a Premier League match, by the way. This is a cup match. In cup matches, we all know what it takes. One chance,
I like
bang.
Greg. I like
One
Greg.
chance, bang. That's all it takes. And that's what Liverpool did today. Obviously, the first goal was an own goal, whatever. But the second chance, Luis Diaz, he did what Arsenal attack couldn't do all day. Put the ball in the back of the net. And that's what you need to do. So these Arsenal fans, especially that EBL dude, saying luck. West Ham was lucky. No, it wasn't. West Ham put in the best deep block.
West Ham, because it's now a pattern. We can go back to the West Ham game and say this is a repetitive issue. But when it was the first game, you can say, you know what, it was unlucky. The Fulham game, there was no excuses. This game is, at this point, you can just say, you know what, this is the glaring signs have been there for too long for us to be thinking. When it happens the first time, you can excuse it. There's no more excuses. That's where I disagree with you, because I think they can say that it was unfortunate. And I think some people can even say our form our in front of goal can change. So some of these things is just confidence. You score a couple goals, you get confident. And XG, guys, once again, XG can fix itself. There's not a situation where 6 XG and 1 goal scored is going to be the way that we go for the rest of the season.
But early in the season, early in the season, you were overachieving XG, by the way. Early in the season, you were overachieving XG.
But
now
because we weren't creating enough chances. Because we weren't creating enough chances.
But did Brighton not have a whole season the other season where they underperformed XG for the whole season? And they ended up X number of places below
you either have a good finisher or you don't. It's as simple as that.
And also look at this at Egal, right? So, for example, Martinelli's form this season has been pretty horrible, right? How many goals has he got? What, 3? Is it 3?
2.
Does he have
2 in the Prem?
Did he sign his contract last season?
He signed his new contract.
A big contract, a big boy contract.
His first big contract. So he's got 2 goals. Last season he scored 15. Yeah, so that's 13 goals. Yeah, that you need him to find between now and the end of the season. His form just, turn it on like a light switch. These are real people. These are professionals. It doesn't work like that. Saka being doubled up because he had a breakthrough season last season, because he started putting up numbers. Now people see that signature shift inside. They're blocking the route to goal. So from my point of view, Egal, look at the fact that all season you've had struggles creating chances in open play, right? That to me tells me something about the chance creation that you're having. Do the players have to snatch more? Do they have to take a touch, which then takes them wide, which then lowers the quality of the chance in real time? Do you have natural finishes anyway? And to think it's just going to suddenly, it's not going to fix itself then. Every team that you're up against at the moment has a killer. Yeah, Spurs have Son. Yeah, City have Haaland. Liverpool have Salah. Yeah, even Villa have someone like Diaby and Watkins, who are bigger killers than what you've got. To be fair, if Diaby and Watkins were going through on goal versus Saka and Martinelli, I think I'd take Diaby.
Don't forget, Mr. John McGinn comes up clutch when they need him to.
So now you're at a point in time now where it's like, I don't think the manager should be sacked.
This is the best comment. I think this is the best comment. I'm looking for solutions now, because I know
exactly. We're solution oriented.
This hits the nail on the head. I think what all you guys have been saying comes back to this: the tactics they've adjusted. Rivals have adjusted. They've kind of figured us out slightly. We need to adapt now and find a new way of cutting things out, of getting to that final third.
Can I say one last thing before you switch over? Because you lost Xhaka, and I remember so many times I spoke to you about Xhaka, yeah, and I said to you, like, what a big loss I thought he would be. All-timer season from him last season, unlucky not to win something. And now Tomiyasu's gone to Asian games, yeah. So you ain't got Tomiyasu for the next 4 games, yeah. Timber, he's not fit. Kiwior struggling at left back, struggling. That leaves Zinchenko.
I speak on it again, Jay.
We all know what Zinchenko's issues are. So now Zinchenko's exposed, because no matter what, he's gonna have to play, let's say 75% of the next 4 games. 3 out of the next 4 games Zinchenko's playing. We know what's Zinchenko. So you've got Zinchenko or Kiwior. So now you've got a problem. Because in that midfield, on that
It's not
side,
1 in 6, it's 1 in 7, by the way.
it's 1 in 7.
1 in
On
8.
that side,
If you include this
on
game,
that,
1
on
in
that,
8.
on that side now,
No, it's
Egal,
1
for
in
you,
7 including
you've got Zinchenko and you've got Havertz, yeah? And you've got an out-of-form Martinelli. The left-hand side of your team is a massive problem currently. And to me, there's nothing you can do that's going to immediately fix that. That is a problem that your team has to find a solution to. You got to find the right mix-up.
I think there's a solution for left back. Play the academy pick. I know it's crazy, but play an actual left back instead of a center back.
Well, you said to me last season that Zinchenko was one of the best left backs in the league, and now you want him for an academy.
He's injured right now. He's injured right now.
He'll be fit for the next game, surely.
Maybe, but yeah. So Greg has gone. Vader has gone. Now it's freaking Rams' turn.
Go on, Rams.
Egal. All right, I want to cast your minds back a month ago. I think Egal, with a smug little face here, came up to me after the United game where we were absolutely dog poo and said, Ram, we're going to go to Anfield and we're going to take 3 points from Anfield. I was like, you haven't taken 3 points in our gaff for almost 10 years. What make you think you're going to do that? Then you drew. And then I told Egal, look, you're lucky not to go away with 0 points because we should have got a pen. And I warned you about West Ham. I warned you about Jared Bowen. I warned you about Thomas Suchek. And what did they do? They come up trumps and they end up beating your asses. And then we went to Fulham. I thought you might beat Fulham. Honestly, I thought you'd beat Fulham. But then Bobby De Cordova-Reid comes and just slides it away to put in another stinky performance from you lot. Joao Paulinho masterclass. Once showed everyone levels. Show that bum Declan Rice levels. I'm going to call him a bum now until he starts performing at the level that I know that he could get to. And then we come to this game. You know what? I won't lay Arsenal fans the bigger fish to fry stuff because they never said it. Funny enough, we said it. We said we got bigger fish to fry, and we still beat you. How does that make sense, Egal? Please make it make sense. We said bigger fish to fry, and we still beat you in your own home, in your own house. Diogo Jota, I swear to God, when the announcer said Jota is coming on for Cody Gakpo, I have never heard the Emirates silent throughout the entire game as bad as that. They knew shit was going to happen. They knew something was going to happen. They know big boy Diogo is going to come on and do a madness. And what does he do? Changes the game. We end up winning 2-0. Jakub Kiwior. Oh, Egal, do you know what? It's so poetic as well. I told you about Kiwior. This guy told me Kiwior is better than Tsimikas, and I told you, no, he's crap. He's
I never said that.
Back.
He didn't say that. No,
I never said that.
At the start of the season, when he tried to cuss me about Tsimikas, I said, you got Kiwior at left back. Your backup left back is even dead, is worse than him. He's a centre back and he's still dead. So I don't want to hear nothing.
VAR says play on. He's right. It's fair. It's close. It's close enough. It's close enough.
Why? Do you know? No, Jay. Do you know why it's fair? Because you were there. You heard the nonsense that Egal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was close. It's close. Like we might be fudging the lines a little bit, but it's close enough. Play on, sir. Play on.
Are you gonna big up your performance for once instead of talking about Arsenal?
I'll get to that, Egal. I'll get to that. But you had a lot of chest. You had a lot of smoke for me. And I'm going to return that smoke back to you, yeah? I got to do it. It's only natural. I don't know why you're coming here with your hood up and everything when you came out with so much chest in December saying that you wanted to come and beat me in my own gap, which you haven't done in 10 years. So take that hood off. Show your face to everybody.
Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at the display picture. Oh,
no, God. I know, and you deserve it, Egal. Get to the super chat because I'm going to go to Liverpool. Yeah, get to the super chat.
Pick up the panel. It's been a rough patch, but when does the bleeding stop, Egal? Skittles up top. What? Skittles up top? It's not it. Who's Skittles? No. And shout out to Onana. Bottom right.
Top right.
Top
I think
right,
he's
top
talking
right.
about Jay.
Bro, so they've now called him. Who they call him before? They called him Semedo. Now they're calling him. They're calling him who? Onana? What? Come on, you guys are dissing Jay.
Well, I'm just saying before we get to, because Jay was there.
They don't understand like even just the depth of my, Onana. Have you seen Onana's a fat? His are like Weetabixes. He's
It's not that deep, Jay.
Hey man,
Jay,
man.
it's fine, bro. It's
Appreciate the thread count. You know what I mean?
But Jay, I'm gonna go back to what happened earlier this summer, yeah, because you were there as well, yeah. You
Paint the picture, paint it.
You were also there. I was speaking about a certain Kai Havertz. I think Jay was loosely on those lines, was talking about it a little bit. I'm gonna come in and throw the smackdown on Egal, yeah. I told this guy, yeah, about this stupid idiot named Kai Havertz, Shai Havertz, whatever you want to call him, yeah. I told you how dead this guy is. I told you he is not an 8, but you sat there looking at transfer mark and tell me he is a number 8. When I saw this guy for Bayer Leverkusen, I seen what he's about. He is not an 8. He is not a striker. He's not even a false 9. He's a false footballer, bro. He is a false footballer. You lot are just rushed up to run your mouth about the fact that, he got a couple of last-minute goals against Brentford, against Luton, all this kind of stuff. Putting him on the same level as Dominic Szoboszlai, yeah, saying he's arguably technically a better footballer than him, which is one of the most maddest things I've ever heard in my entire life. And now you're going to sit there and be like, he took too many touches to score. Why is he taking so many touches? Why can't he just finish? I told you about this guy. Egal, I told you about this guy.
He told you, Egal. He told you.
I'm telling you all this. Why don't you listen to me, Egal? I tell you all this stuff for the goodness of your health, and you still don't listen to me. I don't understand it. Please speak on it, Egal. Please speak on it.
Kai Havertz is not to blame.
What do you mean? Egal. It can't.
The blame doesn't go. Kai Havertz doesn't sign himself. It's really on the person who signed him. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's Kai Havertz's fault we're in the position that we're in today. It's really a mismanagement of funds. If you're going to talk about Kai Havertz, you're talking about the mismanagement of funds.
No, Egal. Hold on. So the chances made today, and the fact that they missed those chances, you're not going to put that at the feet of the players. You're going to put that at the feet of the manager.
No. That is on the players. So you can fault Kai Havertz for his missed chances, but you can't fault him for everything that he in his whole time at Arsenal.
No. Okay, fair.
That's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just gonna say shout out to, if we're gonna talk about Liverpool quickly before we end off the last this segment. Konate, round of applause to him. Man of the match performance, the best player on the pitch defensively for them. And absolutely bossed the game. He kept everybody quiet. And for a game that we had all those chances, I think Konate was your standout performer.
Yeah. When we say there's a case to make that Konate is better than Saliba, I think you can understand from this performance why we have a case for it. I
think that's crazy.
I still think it's the both centre backs are two different types of centre backs, but if there is a case for either or being better than the other, in my opinion, and the fact that you're actually what's it called? You're putting that argument down. Nah, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, also, Egal, before we move on, a couple of people have mentioned to me
Odegaard was good.
No, just they're asking me about because obviously you think very highly of the players that Arsenal have. Remembering the Arsenal and Real Madrid combined 11, and they asked me to ask you if based off this season, this run of results which has happened since you made that claim has potentially affected your perception of the quality of some of these Arsenal players, and whether you would like to potentially amend some of your initial comments as to the structure and constitution of that 11. Egal, what would you say?
I think we're currently on a poor run, and some of these players look worse than they actually are. The combined 11. If I would make a change, I would
changes.
Yeah, if I make changes, if I would make changes, the front three, I'll still have Saka in there. I wouldn't have anybody else. In the
Okay.
midfield, I'll still have Declan Rice.
Okay.
I wouldn't have any other Real Madrid
Egal,
players.
I just remind you, the
And
back
then,
five.
and in the back
What
four,
the back five was
the back
Zinchenko,
four.
Gabriel,
One second.
Saliba, White,
You
and Raya.
asked me a question. Let me just fix it. If there's another change, I would have Rudiger in the back four
No,
and
Okay.
Carvajal for Ben White, and that's it. Everything else stays the same.
Okay,
Ray
you know what?
stays in there.
I want to
Either
ask
Lunin or Kepa is better than Raya or Ramsdale.
Zinchenko stays at left back.
Yeah. I don't think there's a left back better than they have. Do they have a better left back? I don't know. You let me
Oh
know.
yeah. By the way, get Odegaard off this team. Get Odegaard off that team.
Listen. I think we're spending too much time. I think we're spending too much time on this. Let's try to move on.
No, I appreciate you correcting yourself.
Let's try to move on. But before we go any further, big up to everybody in the comment section. We've done 42 minutes of Arsenal getting cooked. I think that's enough time now. Greg's. I was gonna talk about something else. You're playing tomorrow. You think you guys gonna lose?
You never know. Magic of the cup and all that. You know, they put us under the bright lights of Wigan away Monday night, so you never know, anything can happen. But I expect to win. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If we lose, we lose. Honestly, I don't even care anymore about Man United. So whatever happens.
Bro. Sorry, bro. I got to bounce right now. Yeah, I
No
appreciate
worries,
you.
bro.
I know it's a little bit of time, but I appreciate it. Vita, Jay, Greg, all of you,
Always
man.
a
Big up. Egal, screw you, bro. The team is shit. Big up everyone. Big up the chat. Big up.
Much love.
What a way to end it. So yeah, so that just happened. Let's talk about. So you think you're gonna beat Wigan? No problem. What do you think about the whole Sancho to Dortmund situation?
Adios, au revoir, goodbye. I don't know. I can't say goodbye in other languages, to be honest. Maybe Yasu in Greek as well, 4 languages. But honestly, it's been time. I wanted him gone since that whole pressure happened with Ten Hag, and then he kept that tweet up for like 8 days on Twitter on his notes. He disrespected the manager. He disrespected the club in terms of his response and his attitude. And
what? Yo, 1 second. This has to be addressed. Man said I'm an industry plant. What are you, Cat Williams, bro? If I was an industry plant, don't you think I'd have better opportunities right now? The fuck? I'm an industry plant, but
have you heard him? He's like, oh, if I was an industry plant, would I be recording with Jay? Well, first of all, Egal, that's hurtful. Thanks.
No. I'm saying if I was an industry plant, wouldn't I be working for Sky Sports or something? Like, get out of here, bro. That is a ridiculous comment right there. I don't know why I responded to it, but he also said something. Sorry, Greg, continue. My apologies.
Yeah, no, with Sancho, I mean, Dortmund almost pulled the heist of the millennium a year prior to us signing Sancho, because we had signed Sancho for 120 million pounds or dollars, whatever the hell the conversion was. And then 2 years later, we sold him out on loan back to Dortmund, and we're covering pretty much his whole wages. That would have been one of the heights of the century. That's similar to what Coutinho did with Bayern and Barcelona, where Barca bought him for 140 mil, and then 18 months later, he was dunking on them in Champions League A2. But, bro, it's just...
You guys almost did that with Pogba.
Well, yeah, it was almost the same. It's almost we get hoodwinked, but I'm telling you, we get finesse every single time. Anthony's another story, but I don't want to talk about Anthony. I've had a good week about not talking about Anthony. It's been a nice 7 days for me. But with Sancho, I wish him well in Dortmund. I'm not gonna lie. I hope he does well, because at the end of the day, if he does well, that means that we could maybe make a chunk of change back on him until we sell him back. Or obviously, I think Ten Hag won't be here in the summer, so his public enemy number one, Sancho's enemy of Ten Hag will not be here in the summer. So Sancho's gonna come back to probably a new manager, and I'm sure the new manager is gonna see what he can offer, and you might keep him, you might sell him, I don't know. But for me, Jadon Sancho has been one of the biggest flops in Man United history, because the promise that he came in, especially because we only signed him for 70 mil, which was, I think, a good price at the time, considering how much hype he had around him. He's one of the best young wingers in Europe. We didn't end up paying 120 mil. We paid almost half the price of that. So it was a good deal. He was meant to be the future Man United. He was meant to get the number 7, but obviously Ronaldo came in and the whole plans changed after that. It was meant to be him, Rashford, at number 11 at the time, the front three. That could have been the English future front three as well. It was all the whole promise of Jadon Sancho. And from the time he's come here, he's been mediocre. I don't think he's Man United level. I don't think he has the attitude. He doesn't have the application. And for me, he's not the profile of winger that succeed at Man United. I think if you go put him at Chelsea, he would succeed. I think if you put him at Man City, he would probably succeed a little bit more. Obviously, the off the ball issues at Man City maybe not work, because I think Pep requires a certain level of off the ball work ethic that Jadon Sancho does not have. And before people say Sancho's getting scapegoated, he's not, because these problems were evident at Dortmund, and they were evident at Man City as well in his youth days. So it's not like a one thing happened where he just made one mistake in training and he got dropped. It's a series of chronological issues that he's had, and he got punished for the first time, really. Because even last year, there were some issues in the backstage with him. And he got sent to the Dutch mountains. He got sent to the Andes or wherever. I don't know what the mountain range in the Netherlands is. But that's where he got sent for 3 months from Erik ten Hag. So Erik ten Hag tried his best to protect him, and Sancho did not reciprocate. And at the end of the day, he's going to Dortmund. He's going back to where he felt comfortable. Obviously, that's where he built his reputation and everything. And I hope he does well. And at the end of the day, I personally don't want him back in the summer. I just want to get rid of him, sell him. It was just a bad signing. Didn't work out. Not the first player to fail at Man United. There's a whole list of them. You know, Chris Jericho's list. We have our own list. That's what Man United have. And at the end of the day, he just didn't work. So best of luck in Dortmund. He's probably going to do good. I'm going to see black and yellow comps on my Twitter timeline from 2019, and they're going to remake them. It's going to be a remix. And I'm just going to claim Bundesliga tax, because if Jadon Sancho cooks in Dortmund again, but he didn't cook in the Premier League, my only evidence is that he's just good in the Bundesliga. He's not good in the Premier League. Because every time I see a Man United Sancho comp, I fall asleep. It's like I'm putting on a 4-hour movie. That's boring. That's what it feels like. So, at the end of the day, adios.
Adios. Okay. I was gonna say, do you guys have anything to add on Sancho? Because I'm not gonna lie, I just think you guys are doing the right thing. Move away from him. If Ten Hag is gonna be here, best thing to do is move on Sancho. It's untenable to have the manager and the players arguing. There needs to be a level of authority, and if there's no respect between the two of them, then one of them had to go. It was just not feasible to have both of them in the same facility.
I'm gonna add this real quick. I think you obviously have to side with the manager, because the manager's the long-term vision, right? He's gotta keep things flowing. You can't have the quote-unquote, what is it, player empowerment, right? That United are trying to get rid of. But this is another player, great promise, coming to United and not looking anything like what they were before they got there. So I don't know how real these rumors are about Olise possibly going to United, but I'm going to be looking at United a lot closer than I have in the past to see if this trend continues, because there's been a lot of very promising players going there and not looking good. Sancho is just another one on that list. We'll see if Olise ends up going there, whether he becomes another one.
Yeah, Jay, I don't know if you're there, but we're gonna just move on to the next topic if you have nothing to say on Sancho.
Sancho, just this is one of those situations where it's like the transfer didn't work out, but I think that now more than ever in football, you need to be really careful on the players that you buy as a football club, because players are really expensive and they're hard to shift when they don't work out. Everyone wants to buy players that are on the come up, that have very little failure. That's why City's academy sells so well, because these people have been educated very well and they have no concepts of failure, and their ceiling could be very high, and in a lot of those cases you're gambling. With Sancho, what happened is obviously you had a player that looked good in the Bundesliga, and for the price that you're getting, you have to look at his attributes and say, okay, is this guy adding value to the team? Is this guy adding value? So aside from the attitude issues, and you can put this guy in a bracket with the Ndombeles and the Pepes and stuff like that, where it's like these people had good skill sets, looked like top players, and it just didn't work out. And I think it didn't work out because the environment wasn't a good environment. Didn't work out because of the player application too. But then all in all, the profiling of the player, and Sancho should take blame for that as well. Observing, this is my skill set. Is this an environment that I can go and play and I can be a success? And I think that more players need to take more control of their careers and more responsibility to know, okay, you're going to get a payday going to that club, but are you going to make that's your career? And maybe that was fine for him.
Let's talk about the next player. Next player, Jay. This man right here. It's your time now. We gotta talk about this. And Jay, the reason why I come to you is because I think you're one of the people who made fun of me when I was bringing Kai Havertz stuff to you, and you're like, "What do you mean, Kai Havertz? Kai Havertz didn't work at Chelsea," and you're telling me, "Oh, why are we talking about Leverkusen?" And now I'm seeing a lot of your fans bringing footage of
Leverkusen,
him. Yeah.
Leipzig.
Yep.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, doesn't it? So first and foremost, I have a different take on this. So I'm now at the point where I like the transfer, I like the move, and I'll explain to you why. But just first and foremost,
so Timo Werner to Spurs is a good move in your opinion.
It is a good move. It's a good move for several reasons, and I'll explain to you why. But also, we haven't spent 60 million on Timo Werner, like you spent 60 million on Havertz. We've loaned him with an option to buy him for 15, 16 million at the end of the season if it works out. So it's very low risk considering we've got Son away at the Asian Games and Valise has got injured. But the reason why I made some notes here. So the reason why I thought Werner could be a good player is that if you compare Werner's best time as a player, it was at Leipzig, playing a 4-2-3-1 under Nagelsmann, right? We, at times, play a variation of a 4-2-3-1/4-3-3. In terms of what he's going to be doing in those positions, so main offensive threat, making runs, big on the transitions, high level of press responsibility, lots of pressing, technical involvement. So Spurs, we don't really need our 9 to be that technically involved in the build-up. But at Leipzig, he was fairly technically involved in the build-up. So this is an additional thing that Spurs can have with Werner that they maybe don't have as much with Richarlison. But again, in terms of creative movement, our formation allows for Werner to make lots of different runs, diagonal, last man, on the shoulder, and then also he's a clever player in terms of he's clearly somebody that can take technical instruction. He's done it at Leipzig. He did it on Tuchel's Chelsea. Now the drawbacks, the boy can't finish for shit. Yeah, that's what you talk about that. Yeah, that's
what talk about that for a second. When you said you have clinical players in your team, you only have one. You're adding another player who's not clinical, another player who at times could be a problem in front of the final third. And yes, you're adding more versatility to your front line, and that is the main positive. But does that net positive outweigh the negatives?
Okay, so I would look at it like this:
you still haven't replaced the striker.
Who's top of the Premier League open play chance creation stats?
You guys.
That would be Tottenham. Yeah, the chances we create are not the chances you create. Yeah, when you see Richarlison's chances that he's getting at Tottenham, are you not seeing him standing in front of goal, tapping the ball in? Are you not seeing him getting the ball cut back to him in those positions? We create a different kind of chance to you. Yeah, it's obviously our players still flop chances, and Richarlison's still missing. But if you look at the chances that Richarlison misses, he's getting consistent chances. So I'm not expecting Timo Werner to come. I'm not expecting him to come in and be the Timo Werner of 2021, 1920. I'm not expecting him to be that guy. But what I am expecting him to be is a versatile forward who fits with what Spurs do. Stylistically, he fits. Like, we're not that far away from Leipzig a few years ago. Heavy pressing, big transitions, lots of running, lots of pressing. We play more patterns, we play more possession. But on paper, I don't see the drawback of this. There's a lot of reason why this could work. Yeah, it might not work, but it's logical. It's a logical move for Tottenham to do this, and it could work. High upside, low risk.
Okay. Anything you guys got to say on what Jay was saying?
I'm going to say this about Jay. When Jay has notes, you know it's a problem. Listen, Timo, I agree. Low risk. He's a loan, potential to buy. Obviously, it's to fill a gap when he's got key guys gone. But it's hard. It's hard to forget how poor he was up front. It's really hard to forget. So if he continues the same, it's kind of like, oh, we knew this. But if Ange is able to get a trick out of this guy, it's brilliant. It's actually brilliant to have him. I think his speed is dangerous. I do agree his work rate's going to be phenomenal. It's just whether his skill set and him kind of calming down in that final third is going to be there. But listen, if Ange does this, it's going to be another conversation on why he's been the right manager for this club. And I also think you have to let your managers have trial and errors, make mistakes. If this is a mistake, it's a minor one.
Well, the one thing I would add as well, Vader, is just think about it. Yeah, just think about it. Yeah, when Maddison's back, yeah, and you play up front, Son, Werner, and Johnson. Yeah, but then deeper, you've got Maddison, Bentancur, and Porro picking them out. Yeah, it's a wrap. I promise you couldn't play a high line against those boys.
No, you couldn't play a high line. And then
I'll say this: Tottenham have improved their strength in depth. That's what they've improved. Overall, is it a massive improvement? I don't think so. But is it a good deal price-wise? Yes. What are you saying though, Gregs? What do you think? Son, Werner, Richarlison, does that scare you?
That doesn't scare me. There's not really a front three that Spurs can put out that like super scares me, because I think Heung-min Son's really the only one that's clinical in a sense. But I wouldn't put it past Ange to kind of get a tune out of Werner, because the one thing I've known about Ange, even at his time at Celtic, is he knows how to get the best out of his players in any form of position, whether it's the forwards, whether it's the midfielders, whether it's the defense. So you never know, it could work. I think Timo's a decent depth signing. I personally, if I was a Spurs fan, I would have just wanted a younger, more fresher striker than a Turbo Timo, in my opinion. But maybe they don't have. Maybe they want to save the funds for the summer. Maybe they have a player in mind already that they just can't get in January. They have to wait for the summer. Maybe that's that. I don't know what's going on in their backroom staff, but they had a really good summer. So I'm gonna, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd give the backroom staff a benefit of the doubt after the last maybe 12 months that they've had as a backroom as in terms of transfers. So it is what it is. And you never know. Obviously, right now their goal, I'm pretty sure, is probably just to get into the top four, because they're looking at it because the top two spots are pretty much solidified, maybe in like a Liverpool, City. I think Arsenal's still good enough to finish that third spot, the top three. And that fourth spot is wide open. Anyone can get it. Aston Villa, there will be a regression at some point. Spurs are probably looking at that. They have one game a week. Aston Villa have to play Conference League football. So Spurs only have one game a week to worry about. Timo Werner is coming off an injury. I'm not saying all he has to do is give him like 3-4 Prem goals. I think they'd be happy with that return. He's a good what's it called? Chance creator. He knows how to, he's a really good passer. Like he can get a lot of assists. We saw with Chelsea. I think he was like the lead assister in that Champions League winning season. So all he has to do is just lay the ball off to Heung-min Son and let Heung-min Son do his job. That's all he has to do. So it's a decent signing.
And also you think about the movement of Timo.
The fluidity,
just taking players away from other players. Yeah, that allows if you're Timo, you take attention away from Son. You're taking attention, and honestly, that Brennan Johnson already is to me. I like Brennan Johnson a lot. I think I know some people aesthetically he's not doing it for some people, but for me, it's like Brennan Johnson has been as good, probably better than Martinelli this season for me already.
It's not hard.
It's not hard, but like. There's a lot of drop-off and fluctuations with wide players that you don't comment on when it's not your wide player. Do you know what I mean? So Mitoma's had ups and downs this season. Gordon's had a good season, but he's had downward games. And it's easy when it's not your player to be like, oh, this winger's so amazing. But if you really look at how they've been playing, there's very few of the wingers.
There's only one consistent winger in this league, and that's Mohamed Salah. That's it. That's the only consistent winger in this league.
Let's see how it works. I think there's pros and cons to it, but if it goes left, people are gonna scapegoat him. If it goes right, people are gonna say Ange Postecoglou masterclass.
I think the bar to look good in this Tottenham team is quite low. I think if you could, I think this form, how Spurs play, it's easy for players to play well in Spurs' system if they're good players. And I guess we're going to find out if Timo is a good player or what is, because you forget this was the guy, with Liverpool, and Liverpool going to bid for Timo. It was a big thing.
He's a manager's player.
Let's come back to this when we see how he plays.
He's a manager's dream.
Are Man City cooking again, guys? Man City today beat
I
Huddersfield
saw
5-0.
beautiful Kevin De Bruyne with a beautiful head of hair take the majestic armband. Oh, Vea, let me not cramp up your style, Vea. Sorry about that, but it's wonderful to have King Kev back.
Guys, Vader said on this channel a couple weeks ago he did not need a single signing to win the league. He was wrong. Talk to me, bro. It's your turn.
Let me say this, man. I was just soaking it all in, seeing KDB on that sideline there about to enter into the game. Listen, the reason why I said I didn't need another signing is because I remember how the rivals were talking. I remember about the rivals looking at their squad or their starting 11 and having confidence in winning the league before a ball was even kicked or even when 10 games into the season. I had the same perspective because I was like, I got poor results. I went a spell where I only won 2-7 and I had no KDB. I had suspended Rodri at times. I had injured Silva. And I'm like, you know what? Things will look up when guys are healthy again. Klopp was, he was being sly. He said it in a press conference like, look, KDB warming up on the sideline had the entire league shook. Listen, we were amped for this man to come back because we know what it means to the midfield. You control the league. You control games with the midfield. Egal, you know this. You know this. When you guys were firing, you had that intricate, well-gelled midfield, and you also had that left back coming in and adding to that. I've been missing KDB. I've been missing KDB probably, and I know the professor's not on the panel today, but I missed my midfield professor. I miss KDB, who would have been teaching Nunez where to be and how to move. I miss KDB telling Kovacic what to do on that pitch, new to the squad. So when he wasn't there, I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can be in striking distance. Let's see whether Arsenal run away with this. Let's see whether Liverpool run away with this. 5 points off top. I'm calm with these guys. And that's why I was saying, you know what? Whether we make another signing or not, we'll be able to do this. KDB looks younger. Benjamin Button settings. The man looks younger. You let the hair grow a little bit. Obviously, he was on that sideline, probably able to hear Pep better than he's ever able to do it. And I think he's now looked at the game and he kind of analyzed it. He's able to kind of analyze and see, you know what, here's where I can impact the game. And while he was on that sideline, what won't get necessarily talked about because rivals don't like to bring him up, but Phil Foden had an accelerated class with KDB out. Phil Foden was thrown out there, and you know what? The keys are yours, young boy. Drive it. And you saw him playing in the midfield, and he's been nice. He's been nice. You don't want to talk about it right now. Rivals may not want to bring it up, but Phil Foden has shown why he's been talked about the way he's been talked about. Phil Foden showed the class that he has. Him and KDB in the midfield is an experiment that I want to see consistently from Pep. I still want KDB to be nursed back, calmly, because I need him for the latter part of the season. But it was great to see him out there. And within 17 minutes of him being on that pitch, an assist. KDB's that guy. He's nasty like that. 5 goals in this FA Cup. I'm not going to gas it too much because we are expected to win. I was surprised to see how many players are going to be out. There's a bug going around. I think it's going around the league. But a few players were out. But to be able to put in that performance, happy with Foden getting his goal, happy with what I saw from Doku, Alvarez, and obviously KDB out there. Oscar Bob had a goal as well when we talk about academy or kids coming through. I had Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob. I had Mika Hamilton. And obviously we know Foden came through the ranks. Guys, I'm happy with this. This was a game where I just want to sit back, get the result, obviously tune in and see the Arsenal-Liverpool game. But KDB is the reason why I have chest and why I've had chest like this for years. He's arguably, guys, no disrespect to your players, but if we want to talk about our recency or the city kind of dynasty that's been happening lately, it's been largely because of KDB. He's had to remain here while Yaya left, David Silva left, Gundogan's now left. KDB, he's got the keys, and he is that senior, long tenure professor that's going to be teaching this next run to try to get this 4. That's never happened in this league. KDB is going to be at the centerpiece of this.
And one thing to add there is that obviously as a massive KDB stan, yeah, you know, the thing with KDB, you know, when people talk about the Yayas and the David Silvers and you know the companies, and credit to them and shouts to them for what KDB is. Man City, modern day Man City is KDB. The success that he had, because those silver teams, those company teams, are rightly or wrongly, they didn't perform in Europe to the level that KDB's sides have. And KDB's been sniffing around semis, finals, you know, winning it. Like, I think from my point of view, in terms of his impactfulness on City, we'll even see even the ball for Doku. It's funny because when you're watching the goal, you're like, where did the ball like why how did he decide to just dink it like perfectly like that? And he's just like, we should just.
I was watching LB's stream. You guys were literally getting orgasms from watching KDB play.
Bro, because why wouldn't you, bro? Because this is it's not messy, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I remember when I was younger, because I was a bit of a football snob or a bit tribalist, I probably didn't enjoy like the Busquets or certain players in real time because you weren't appreciative. People should appreciate KDB because like what he does, how he does it, like, you know, he's a once in a generation midfielder and see.
1 second, let what do you call it, Greg's go before you respond, bro. Greg's, did you have anything to say on City, man?
The Grim Reaper's back, so the league is clipped. They're gonna do a 4-peat, which means my record's gone. I have to watch them do that because the alternative is watching Liverpool lift number 20, and I don't want to see that either. So honestly, I don't even know what the lesser evil is at this point. I don't want
Arsenal winning.
Keep it in Manchester.
You ain't winning shit though. You're not winning shit, so it's clipped.
Keep it in Manchester.
It's clipped. But nah, bro, they might do another treble the way by the looks of it, because the FA Cup is Liverpool are the only team that can stop them. In Europe, the rest of Europe for me is mid as hell anyway. I'm looking at Real Madrid, with the only team that I think can stop Man City, and they're gonna pull up to a Champions League semifinal against Man City with Joselu up top, while Man City are gonna pull up with Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne. So what hope do I have of seeing them fail? Because they struggled through the first half of the season, yet without KDB for 18 league games or 19 league games.
Do you think they're gonna do the treble again?
They could, bro. If you look at the state of Europe, it's not. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's very likely at this stage because
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm because I think they're gonna win I think they're gonna win the Champions League. I think they're gonna do a back-to-back. I don't think there's anything that can stop them in Champions League. I'm not gonna lie. The FA Cup, anything can happen, and the league. If Liverpool maybe like bin Europa, then Liverpool can focus on the league. But I look at this team, bro. The league had the opportunity. I told you this on Sancho on Monday. I said the league had the opportunity to stuff the dagger in the chest on Man City. Pep had his worst run in his managerial career. Not just at Man City. He never had that kind of run at Barcelona or Bayern Munich. His worst run ever. And after his worst run ever, he's going to enter the second half of the season 2 points off top because they're going to win their game in hand against Brentford. Let's be serious. So it's 2 points off top against Liverpool. That's all they have to worry about. And they've shown when it's a league title, when it's a head-to-head battle against Liverpool for the league, Man City are undefeated. They know what it takes to get the edge over to Liverpool. And they have their best player back. Erling Haaland's probably the happiest man on the planet. He got his Christmas present. His creator is here. Kevin De Bruyne is back. You don't have to worry about making runs and that no one's gonna find him. And by the way, Vader, the fact that you call KDB the professor of the midfield, are you saying that Rodri can't be the professor of his midfield, the best 6 ever? That's what fans have told me. Because he's better than Busquets according to some people. So he can't be the professor. Is that not the professor of your midfield? That's the 6. That's meant to be the professor, by the way. The 6. That's meant to be the professor.
Okay. Fair.
Okay. I should throw that in there, but nah. All jokes aside, though, Kevin De Bruyne back, bro, it's like that's like if Liverpool played like 20 games without Salah and he just came back and they were like only 2 points off the league. That's what it feels like. And Jay said like when the City fans were gassed watching him back because this, like, you guys are right. He is the leading force of this dynasty. Even though I think Pep is the main reason why this dynasty has happened. Without Pep, none of this happens because he's that dominant of a manager. But in terms of players, it's Kevin De Bruyne because David Silva is an excellent player, one of the best we've ever seen. Vincent Kompany, maybe one of the best captains. But Kevin De Bruyne has one quality over that none of the other City players really had, other than Aguero, obviously. The game-changing ability, the X factor. And Kevin De Bruyne has X factor in abundance because we saw last year at the Bernabeu, Man City were struggling. Vinicius has scored that banger. What happens? KDB, one chance, bang.
Listen, I will never forget personally. Yeah,
I'm not
last
gonna lie,
season,
bro.
KDB. Yeah, like at Arsenal and then again at home. Yeah, the lob against Arsenal.
We're done with the City segment. Stop talking about
the last and that goal, that first goal against Arsenal, that zigzag bottom corner.
You literally are loving life right now. Let's talk about this quickly, Vader. Last topic. Sorry to just move on. There's no Chelsea rep here, but guys, did you hear the crazy story? They want to sell Conor Gallagher to Spurs and bring in Jordan Henderson back from Saudi.
Who is the source for this?
Jordan Henderson to Chelsea, but Gallagher to Spurs.
Well, you know where Jordan Henderson is going to go? Jordan Henderson is going to sign a contract with Luton Town, and we're going to see a Ross Barkley, Jordan Henderson pivot, man.
So report is that Pochettino said to Chelsea that he wants more experienced players, and they're weighing their options on whether they should bring Jordan Henderson in as one of those players.
They should bring him in, but why get rid of Gallagher? I don't get that.
I don't know if they want to get rid of
FFP.
I'll say this real quick. I think Chelsea getting Jordan Henderson would be brilliant. I think it would be brilliant because what do they have? They just have a bunch of kids over there, and they have a bunch of kids that actually didn't come up in the league, like didn't come up through English football. I think they need to be able to get a Jordan Henderson, the most decorated captain for Liverpool.
True.
Football London, Chelsea could. Football London said that. Football London.
It's a non-story, bro. It's not happening. Yes, it's clear.
If it were to happen, I'd be all for it, though. I think Jordan Henderson would bring a lot of stability to Chelsea. That would be another veteran there. That would be another person to calm things down, and that would be another player that could actually give some guidance on what to expect in some of these.
I'm saying, bro, Enzo Fernandez. Do not, if Jordan Henderson somehow miraculously goes to Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez, do not let Jordan Henderson outperform you, because then we will really have to have very uncomfortable.
But the thing is, Chelsea want to sell Conor Gallagher to Tottenham and replace him with Jordan Henderson.
I don't think Jordan Henderson would actually be the replacement. Like, that's just like the journalism click word. Like that's the clickbait, obviously. But they just want to sell Conor Gallagher to FFP. Obviously, they have a bunch of midfielders anyway that can replace what Conor Gallagher does. You have Romeo Lavia, by the way, who's just a better player than Conor Gallagher to begin with. But once he gets fit, he could do that. You saw Moises Caicedo, you still have Enzo. You have that Leslie kid that came from France this summer. I'm pretty sure Chelsea have another list of midfielders that they want to sign.
Well, bro, the source is actually the Evening Stat. The source is actually the Sporting Standard, and it's this guy right here. Let me show you. This is the original source of the thing. Sorry to cut you guys off, because when you threw me for a loop when you said who said it. So this is the guy who actually said it.
Is there Cancelo?
He's a Chelsea rep apparently too. Where's the actual article?
There's always fire to every rumor, whether you think it's false. There's always a fire to it.
Pochettino quizzed on Chelsea's interest and AIM talks to return to the Premier League.
Pochettino, right? So it's gonna come down to it's a Poch versus the board thing, because Poch might want to sign him, but I'm pretty sure in January the board is still in charge of transfers, and they're gonna look at Jordan Henderson's passport. They're gonna see the age, and they're gonna dash away the rumor. They're gonna be like, Pochettino, you can hold that. He doesn't fit the requirement of Chelsea Football Club. Let's be real. We all know what kind of age group Chelsea want to sign. Well, we don't have to indulge in details, but we all know what the age group that they want to sign. So Jordan Henderson doesn't fit that. Vader might be right though. They do need a vet. Thiago Silva is the only veteran in that team. Let's be serious, especially in the back six in sense.
Yeah. Chelsea fans are probably not going to like this. Just to be honest,
no, I wouldn't either. If I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't either. I'm looking at you promised me this project. And I don't rate Conor Gallagher, but you can at least make the case that he's still a young player, and you're selling him to a rival, by the way, it's a direct rival in Spurs. And the player you replace him with is Jordan Henderson. I'm gonna be looking as a Chelsea fan like, well, what is this? It's like a polar bear in Arlington, Texas type beat. Why is Jordan Henderson here? So I get why they would be mad.
Hey, the craziest part is selling Conor Gallagher to Tottenham to fund.
Well, you need to get over your Conor Gallagher.
Why are there so many rumors to the Spurs? What's going on here?
Because
Spurs
Spurs
want
are
him.
interested in him, and Chelsea might want to sell him. I don't know if he has a new
I
contract.
don't think Ange rates Oliver Skip, so you're looking at Conor
So-
Gallagher.
Yeah,
Like, this guy's better.
we're looking to add players. You know what I mean? We need players in the squad, man.
Yeah, but are you doing this? Are you doing this to secure top four? What's all these movements for?
to improve the squad, bro.
Yeah, but to remain to win top four, to be in top four.
Probably. I'd say that's probably.
Listen, I think that's it. And then
Listen, you won't get me on camera saying this, but you know, I'm just saying we're only 6 points off top. You know what I mean? So that's
Get
all I'm
yourself
saying.
on camera. What are you doing?
Alright, guys.
To be fair, I did an article for a permanent review of the first half. I put my dark horse. I said there's one team. I think Spurs. Obviously, it's not gonna happen. Let's be serious. Man City
Yeah.
win the league. But I did put between Spurs or Aston Villa. I have more hope of Spurs finishing higher up the table than Aston Villa because they're getting their main men back. Van de Ven's back. James Maddison back. And we saw what happened in the first 10 games of the season with them. They know how to go on a run.
What people should understand as well is that Spurs will improve, I think, in the second half of the season. The more players get used to Ange's tactics, and the more the team develops.
Jay, you know what? The one thing you gotta forget about the top. Are you finishing above Arsenal? That's the main goal right now. That's the one you should be focusing on. Can you finish above your local rivals?
Can we? Yes. Will we? We'll see.
No.
Right. The thing is
how many points are you? 1 point off? 1 point off, right?
One point behind him.
all right, guys, let's have another conversation.
It's in our hands to finish above Arsenal because they have to come to our stadium.
There you go.
We're gonna talk
And
about
they got
it.
Champions League to
It's
worry
in our
about.
hands already.
And they got
We're
you something
gonna
to worry
talk
about.
about it when it gets there. This is ridiculous.
Uncomfortable in North London. The shit
Egal,
is
it looks like you've had a
changing.
tough day, bro.
Egal looks
Tomorrow's
stressed.
another day, my friend.
Guys, it doesn't get any better. Tomorrow, I'm going on Husam's channel. I'm gonna have these guys cooking me. I have to do an
I will
emergency.
be there, by the way.
I have to do an emergency Arsenal meeting again because this is getting
Yeah, are
ridiculous.
you doing an emergency Arsenal meeting after this? Because I'll probably tune in because
No,
you know,
not today.
no,
Maybe
no.
I'll wait till Tuesday. We got to talk about it. Let some days rest, and then we don't play for another 13 days. So we got 2 weeks.
Wow, 13 days of
next week. What's going on?
We got 2 weeks of people just bantering Arsenal. It's gonna be.
How come you don't play next week? What's going on?
That's gonna be horrible.
How come you don't play next week?
We don't play next week.
Why not?
We play Crystal Palace on the 20th.
Oh, we're just giving bye weeks out to the Premier League teams out? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's how it's worked.
Oh, it's cool. I gotta play next week against Spurs.
What do you mean? When are you playing?
We play next week. We play next Sunday against Spurs.
Next Sunday.
Arsenal's next game.
Oh, are they doing that thing where they're doing half game weeks and then the other week is
Arsenal's next game is Saturday the 20th of January.
I get what they're doing. They're doing they're splitting the game week.
When's our next game?
Your next game is next week against us.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So also they're splitting the game.
What they're doing is game week 21. Game week 21 has been split over 2 weekends. So the first game, so you got 5 games happening on the 12th and the 14th and the 13th, and then you have 5 games happening on the 20th and the 21st and the 22nd. So game week 21 is split over 2 weeks.
I got it.
Right, got it. So basically, each team has the chance to have a bit of a. That's quite smart, actually.
2 weeks without Eric Ten Hag's Reds. That's all I got to hear, man.
Yeah,
I'm a happy camper. Let
me show you. Can you guys see that?
So yeah. So we're the
primetime slot.
If you guys play on the 14th, you're the primetime game.
You know what? They've done all right because they've only got 5 games to play with, but they spread it nicely over that weekend.
Liverpool have until the 21st. They don't play, so they got a lot of time too. But Liverpool, the thing is, Liverpool are playing in the cup, so they still have the.
I think it's this week or is it the week after? I don't know.
And Chelsea also have the cup game, so certain people don't really get a break if you're in the League Cup. But because we're not in the League Cup, we just got knocked out of the FA Cup. That's what's up.
Spurs next week. Interesting. So sure, Timothy Ratcliffe will be in attendance, by the way. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think the FA Cup lost its magic, to be honest. But hey,
no.
Yeah, of course it has. Of course it had its magic when you guys were winning it, right? When you guys won it with Aubameyang and Lacazette with his little walking thing, you guys are loving life, right? Now it's lost its.
I think that's
Now
I think it's time to go. Big up Vader, big up Greg's, big up Jay for coming on, and of course big up Ram and everybody who's been watching. Unfortunately,
Always a
Hamza couldn't
pleasure.
make it, but you guys will see me, him, and Greg's and Hussam and everybody on Monday. I'll catch you.